Hello, audience. Welcome back to Conversations Unplugged. This is a platform, if you've been listening to our previous episodes, this is a platform where there are real and authentic conversations on deep topics, which Daisy makes it so easy with her interesting thought process. And I have Daisy Varun as my guest for this entire season because what I love about Daisy is she dares to think different and then she dares to also talk about it. So it's good to see people who are ready with a different thought and they are not scared or fearful of putting it across and saying what's on their mind, because that's the kind of people we want on this platform. So thank you, Daisy, for being who you are, for coming back week on week and sharing your insights and thoughts with us.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm honored. Thank you.
Thank you. So in our last episode, we discussed something very, very interesting. So I was listening to our last episode, and what really came out for me were two important things. One, when you said that wanting is wanting something in the future, because you're always talking about something that you want, not now, but sometime in the future. And then the second thing that you mentioned, which was also very interesting, was language, the use of language, because language literally creates our destiny. It creates what we want or we don't want, right? So I thought we will take that aspect of our conversation forward and link it to something that we again hear from a lot of people talking. In fact, every modality talks about affirmations and visualizations. And affirmation is around language. Affirmation, from what we know and what we understand, is about what do you want and how do you say it, right? And reprogramming our mind towards that. So let's start by understanding what comes to your mind when you hear affirmations and visualizations. And if you want to link it back to the language or the wanting part of it, then yeah, let's see where that flows.
So language for me, affirmations, like you remember my mother's diary notes to me, those were affirmations, right?
Yes.
So, but interestingly, they helped shape my mind because I was very young and there was no um, baggage as such. So when at the age of 5 or 6 or 7, when she told me, even younger maybe, so she got me to say a lot of things at a very young age, read a lot of things at very young age, discuss a lot of things at very young age. So when she told me hope for the best but be prepared for the worst, when she wrote that on a diary note, and when I read it, I had to process it with an empty mind. Okay, because I did not have so much experience of life at that time. So it looked like a fair possibility to me that hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. It's life. It can go whichever way, right? But what I realized later when I heard people talking, I did not know it is called affirmation at that time. So you see, that age, those days, the language was different. We did not talk about things that we talk about today. But today, I was reintroduced to the word affirmation, rather introduced to the word affirmation in 2008 or 9, maybe. I think The Secret as a documentary came in 2006. After that, it kind of became popular about visualizing and about, affirming, etc. And then Louise Hay happened big time. So affirmations happened big time. Um, but my reading of it is that it does not work for 90% of the people.
Mhm.
And do you know why? Because there's a lot of baggage over which they are trying to plaster that affirmation. And it does not work like that. It's like, if I were to give you an analogy, मेरे घर में अगर कुछ बहुत गंदा पड़ा है, there's a lot of dirt and dust in my house, let's say on a table, yeah, or on the bed. And all of a sudden, I know a guest is coming. What will I do? I will take out the best, cleanest, most pristine bed sheet and spread it over, right? But it does not mean that the bed is clean, right?
Yes.
Now, that's what people have started doing with affirmation. They think it's that white, clean, pristine bed sheet that they will spread over everything and everything will be fine, but it's not. So it doesn't work. And gradually people lose faith and focus in it because it's not working. What to do? So that's what has gone wrong with affirmations, but it is a powerful thing to do. It's a lot of work. Just fake it till you make it doesn't work in the internal world. It can work in the external world. In the internal world, who are you faking it to? you know. So fake it till you make it doesn't work internally. A lot of people, even when they're practicing affirmation, they say fake it till you make it. Well, try it. Good luck to you. It hasn't worked with me. It didn't work for me that way. What worked for me was to always be present. I have a different philosophy. It's called the WAT philosophy, which comes from Gita again. You know, I can't really remember the shlok, the chapters and numbers, and tell you that, okay, this is where it is written. But as an essence from that book, this is what I learned, that you have to witness, okay? And even those who practice Vipassana will understand that. I think Vipassana is a far more powerful technique or practice, whatever you want to call it, um, that brings you to learn to live in the now. Okay. And I'm totally sold to the philosophy of Vipassana, the practice of Vipassana. I don't do it as regularly anymore. I still stay focused on my breath most of the times, as many times as I can, but the rest of the adhishtan and stuff I don't do. But it's a very powerful modality. So coming back to affirmations. So what I was telling you was that
What? WAT.
WAT, yeah. So WAT is witness. Vipassana, vipashyati. Pashyati means, pashya means to watch, okay, to witness. And so first you witness what is happening, okay, and then you accept, and then you transcend. WAT. तो हमने एक वर्कशॉप भी डिजाइन की थी एक टाइम पे एक फ्रेंड के साथ, जिसका था लाइफ की वाट लगा दो, WAT. That was the name of the workshop, but it didn't materialize because, you know, um, we were two divergent thoughts and we couldn't really put it into practice. But that's all right. That was interesting because during that conceptualizing that workshop, we learned a lot. So, witness and accept and transcend is the basic philosophy, wherein visualization and affirmation and every other modality will help you do that. But I think that's the foundation. Witnessing is the foundation. People don't want to witness. Their affirmation is a way of escaping. I don't want to see this. So how do I change it? Okay, let me start chanting some affirmation and say, okay, this is how it is, this is how it is, this is how it is. But at the back of the mind, there's always this niggling thought, oh, you liar. It's not, that's not how it is. Who are you fooling? What are you doing? You know, so this
Yeah.
clash in your head is not going to let it materialize. What do you do?
Yeah, that's such an interesting perspective. And what I'm hearing, Daisy, is the inner work is important. You need to heal so that then the affirmations and visualizations will make it easy for you. But if you are hurt inside, if we, okay, so let me ask you. So when you say dirt, what do you mean by dirt? What would that mean in human
Anything,
psyche?
whatever,
Hmm.
whatever you're trying to remove by that affirmation. What are you trying to remove by that affirmation?
Okay, so it could mean, the self-hatred or the self-loathing, or
What? Huh.
or just being unhappy with my now, or not getting that. If we translate into materialistic stuff, it could be getting a promotion, getting a salary hike, getting a good job. All of those things are people want, and when we are not doing the work or taking appropriate action and just affirming, that's not going to work.
Yes. Absolutely, you said it. So somebody is trying to work on their health with affirmation. Hello, before the affirmation comes your diet and exercise and lifestyle, and then comes the affirmation. You
Yeah.
can't sit and keep affirming, I don't have diabetes, I don't have diabetes, I don't have diabetes.
Yeah.
Hello, you know what I mean? So, so yeah, affirmation is something that is very powerful, but it needs a lot of pre-work. It
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. Same thing with visualization.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
everybody's working on, there are workshops galore on how to make more money.
Yeah.
The only person making money is the person who's holding those workshops.
Holding those workshops, absolutely.
Okay. All this abundance and scarcity, again, language is so powerful. So you know, I can challenge the person who's always talking about abundance mentality is the person who's suffering the most from the scarcity mentality. तो उसको constantly उसको लड़ना पड़ता है. Abundance, abundance, abundance. Hello, तुम्हारे कहे बिना दुनिया बहुत abundant है. You know, this whole universe, the whole cosmos, this planet, this earth, this surrounding, it is so abundant. If you don't know that, you will fight scarcity. And then it will be a workshop for you, then it will be a practice for you. But if you know, if you witness the abundance and accept it, there is no challenge, there is no fight. You know, people who are trying to make the most money come from the poorest inner being, money is just a means. People have made it the end.
Yeah, yeah. Money is a energy resource. It's a
It's
tool,
not.
right?
This again is a myth.
Okay.
Money is not energy. Who told you money is energy? It's a transactional tool. Is a
But then,
screwdriver energy? Is a plier an energy? Is a auto rickshaw an energy? It's a means to get you from one place to another. Similarly, money is a means to give you one thing or the other in exchange of, so I don't buy to, okay, again, this is my thought, one
hmm,
person's opinion. You may disregard it by all
yeah,
means.
yeah.
Money for me is not energy. Money for me is a means. Okay, so when I'll tell you, a lot of people tell me, Daisy, तुम बहुत सारा healing ना बड़ा you do it for free for people. I said, no, I don't do it for free. I never do healing for free. But it does not mean that I'm charging money. Money is a means. If somebody needs healing, okay, how can he or she honor the work I do for her? What if the person does not have money? Will I say, no, I won't do the work with you? People who come to me in a state where they are in the most battered state. They come to me in the most, distraught state. They come to me when they are stuck and they don't know, they don't see anything around. So at that time, if I tell them, no, if you don't pay me money, I'm not going to do work with you, I don't see money as a means of energy. And a lot of people tell me, ek rupees le liya karo. So I say, okay, fair enough. I will tell the person that, honor what I'm doing for you
Hmm.
by doing something for me that according to you is honoring me and my time and my skill and my effort. And then I leave it to them whether they want to give me money, they want to pay it in cash, they want to pay it in kind, and sometimes they just pay me in a lot of love and emotion, and that's exchange. So there is nothing that is, there's no karmic bond created because they have given me all they could in that moment. If it was just about love and respect and adulation and adoration and reverence, I receive it with all the grace that I can. So for me, money is just a means, and I have never ascribed to the thought that money is energy.
Okay,
Money is
okay.
man-made.
Hmm.
आप आज उसको abolish कर दो, barter system पे वापस आ जाओ, फिर what is the energy then? Why do we give it so much importance is my question.
Yeah.
What if we go back to barter? What will be
Hmm.
your exchange energy exchange then?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought to spend time on. Um, what I'm also now thinking and what's coming to my mind is there's so many books, there's so much of work which has been done to say you attract based on who you are. Like you are an energy being, you are, vibrating, like the law of attraction says, you're vibrating at a certain, vibrations, and then you attract what you attract into your world. And money also you attract based on how you're thinking, how you're being, and what's your state. So does
I
that align
agree.
with what you're just saying?
I agree. But you know what? People have compartmentalized things.
Hmm.
Okay. So even those who say that, you attract, and this, I think I said in one of the episodes that I don't ascribe to the philosophy that you attract what you are inside, because by that definition, I must be a very poor person
Yeah,
inside,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I attracted a very difficult life from the moment I was born. What did I don't know what I was born with that attracted disownment or
Hmm.
such strong rejection,
Hmm.
that my own parents did not want me. So for me, that philosophy doesn't work. I think life has a curve. It has a certain way, mechanics to it. It has a certain way it works. People who sit on the camera and say that, oh, all the good things, you remove the camera, look into their lives, there will be enough of good, bad, ugly. Okay. Can we just accept that good, bad, ugly is the way of life? There will be days you'll have a lot of money. There will be days where your money will be stuck. There will be days when your payments will not happen. There will be days when you will lose money. It is a karmic journey. There will be days when you will go through the pain, the grief, the loss, the everything, fill in the blanks. So for me, I don't want life in a particular way that, only good things happen in my life, only a lot of money happens in my life. The other day, one of my consultants was telling me that, Daisy, um, okay, I'm sharing a part of my life which I rarely share with people. So my husband comes from a very rich landowning family, okay, and he owns a mini forest in Kerala. So she was telling me, Daisy, what's the problem for you? You come from such a rich family. You come from such a, yeah, I want to believe that. But if you trust me that from the day I married, I've been struggling to earn my bread because my husband doesn't work. In-laws did not accept us. Even today, my husband owns 40 acres of land in Kerala, but there's not a single penny that we get from that land. So how do you figure out, am I rich, am I poor? I don't know.
Mm.
I'm the queen of a mini forest,
Yeah.
but I have to still work to get the next meal on the table. So how do you make peace with these things? Okay, so for me, life is a mixture of good, bad, ugly. It is not about, wealth does not mean money. Wealth does not mean wealth is a lot of well-being from within. Wealth for me is a lot of strength from within. Wealth for me is a lot of um, the courage with which you live your life, accepting the good, bad, ugly is wealth for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So the witness of the what
The
that you
witness
said.
of, yeah. Witness and accept. I don't know if I have yet come to transcend. I have a long journey to come to transcend. But and I struggle with accept sometimes. But I know that I'm very, very situated in witness. I can witness anything and everything. I can witness with that equanimity that okay, this also is happening and this also is happening. I can accept that much. I can witness and not fight the witnessing for sure. Accepting also, most of the times I accept 90%, 80% I accept. वो जो 20% है जहाँ पे वो चलती है ऊपर वाले से रार चलती है मेरी, that why. So then he beats me into witnessing and he says, देखो ना हो रहा है अभी, why करने से क्या है, अभी तो हो रहा है, so you witness it. So I live like that. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same thing with visualization for me. So I think it's about what you hold in your vision is what churns your thoughts and emotions to bring you to the courage and strength to live it. When you hold negative images, everything inside, it's a spiral, no?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
dominoes effect, keh lo,
Correct.
spiral, keh lo. So the images you hold in your mind, they inspire you to live and work accordingly. That's about it. Somebody wants to become a Bollywood star. Okay, उसने शाहरुख खान का पोस्टर लगा रखा है ना. दिस इज विजुअलाइजेशन. बचपन से सब लोग करते हैं, हम सबके रूम में किसी ना किसी का पोस्टर होता था
पोस्टर
ना.
रहता था. Yeah.
तो दैट इज विजुअलाइजेशन. उसको शाहरुख खान बनना है, उसको ब्रूसली बनना है, उसको ऐश्वर्या राय बनना है. तो मेरे मुंह पे से अक्सर आप ऐश्वर्या राय का नाम सुनोगे, बिकॉज फॉर मी उसको ऐसे गढ़ के बनाया है ना ईश्वर ने ऐश्वर्या राय को. सो फॉर मी शी इज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. एंड फॉर एवरी गर्ल, बार्बी डॉल एक टाइम पे हुआ करती थी. आई हैड अ फ्रेंड हु हैड 15 Barbie dolls on her bedside. That's a sort of visualization. So visualization is not only when you do it by creating a chart, वो आप मैगजीन से काटोगे और उस पे चिपकाओगे. No, you walk into a house जहाँ पे बहुत सारी पिक्चर्स, आपको पिक्चर वॉल मिलेगा. That's visualization, and you will see those homes are beautiful homes. Those homes have a lot of loving energy, and you can walk into a house where you see bare walls, and I immediately, by the decor of the house, I know the texture of uh, uh,
The vibe in the house. Yeah.
the texture of the relationships in the family.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this is visualization. The visuals you hold and create around you, they are what, one, they reflect what you feel from within, and two, they reflect what you aspire for, what you want to be, and that will guide you. If you want to become Shah Rukh Khan, you will take care of your hair, you will go to the gym, you will perhaps start you know copying his mannerisms. So a lot of this visualization bit, it's very true, but it's for me, it is not the way it is taught or propagated in the world. That's not how I perceive it. As a modality, witnessing, affirming, all of that makes sense to me, but not the way it is taught, like a
Yeah.
shortcut to something. It's not a shortcut to anything.
Shortcuts, so yeah, it cannot be a shortcut because then there's so much of chaos when there are conflicting thoughts. So if I can keep saying, oh, I'm healthy, but on the other hand, I have diabetes and I have blood pressure, then you are never being able to align your affirmation with your current reality. So it's not witnessing your reality. Like you said, the first step is to witness and accept. Okay, here is where I am. This is the baseline. Now, where do I want to go?
Now where? Once you come there, then maybe it's a powerful springboard.
Yeah.
Affirmations and visualizing could be a powerful springboard. But I see most of people do it from a place of despondency, and that's not when it works.
Yeah, then it doesn't work. And then they, like you said, they lose the faith on affirmations and visualizations. And another thing which is actually striking me as you're talking about visualization is it also helps you to remind yourself constantly of who you want to become. You
Yes.
put nice pictures around you, you hold powerful visions, you are thinking, being with people around you who are living that kind of life where you want to be. Then you are reminding yourself of the journey that you have to take. Otherwise, the negative images, or you're constantly surrounding by negativity and people who are constantly frustrated or desperate, then that's what you're going to remember, and that's where you're going to lead yourself to. So visualizations also are a way to remind yourself that this is possible, this is where I want to be, and now I have to create a road or a roadmap to take myself there.
Correct.
Right? Fantastic. So just for
Can we
our
take a
audience.
break here?
Sure. All right. So we're talking about affirmations, we're talking about visualization. And just to summarize what I've heard from you, Daisy, is that affirmation and visualizations are great modalities, great tools, but if used the right way.
Correct.
If you're trying to just fix things using a shortcut and just using affirmations and visualizations without aligned actions, then we are not going to see any kind of result. And
Yes.
then we're going to be disappointed, we'll lose faith, and say that it doesn't work. But they do work if you are accompanying it with the right kind of aligned work as well. Right? So fantastic. So that was an amazing conversation. And another topic that is related to affirmations, which also comes from Louis Hay's work, is around self-love and self-acceptance. We keep saying, I love myself, I'm whole and complete just the way I am. So what do you understand by self-love, and how do you practice self-love in your day-to-day life?
I've never had to practice self-love. So I really don't know how do I practice it in my day-to-day life. I'm so deeply situated there, very very centered in myself. So I've never had to practice that. But what I can see from, about self-love, or when I see others struggling for self-love, and then it takes us back to whose opinion are you, working on? Self-love, most of the times people struggle with is because somebody said something which impacted them at an age where they were the most vulnerable, at a time when they were the most vulnerable. It's not necessarily the age also. It's the time when you were the most vulnerable. And your entire identity was put into question. Your entire self-image was put into question. And then you start struggling with self-love. But if you remember always that, I know it's easier for me to say because I've never had to struggle with self-love. I think the only issue I had with my choti aankh, moti naak was taken care of long ago. But I don't know. Let me ask you, what do you think? Why do people struggle with self-love, according to you?
I think what you said makes a lot of sense. People struggle with self-love because they have not accepted themselves. I think, again, it comes back to
the same
to taking ownership of who you are and the what of life, right? The witnessing who you are. What are the parts of you that you don't like, or, you are denying existing within yourself? So when we don't accept who we are, I think that's where we start disliking ourselves. So self-love, to me, if you ask, is about just being okay with who I am. I might not be the best, I might not be the perfect, I might not know everything, but that's okay. Like, I am who I am, isn't it?
I am who I am. Yeah, that's something very strong in me. For example, okay, let me give you this example from my life. I don't know how you're going to perceive it. So I have mostly been slim, uh, despite living a full life, giving birth to two children, and going through one bad pregnancy, miscarriage, kelo, abortion, kelo. So I still, this is a genetic blessing to me that other than a big round face, I think my frame is pretty slender. But since this perimenopause has happened, I am gaining a lot of girth around the middle. And my son will keep poking me, Moti ma, Moti mama, Thul Thul mama. So he will keep doing that. And I keep noticing that. And sometimes I get angry with him. Don't do that, because, that's a part of me which I'm struggling to accept right now. But at the same time, at the back of my mind, I know that it's happening because I'm going through a certain, biological clock, and this is a part of it. So it does not impact my self-love. You know what I mean? Any part of my physicality does not impact my self-love. Any part of other people's opinion also does not impact my self-love. For example, um, my daughter sometimes gets very upset with me and she says, "Oh, you've been such a bad mother." Okay, fair enough. I understand her pain. I understand her grief. Uh, but I don't think it puts my uh, anything. It is not a judgment on me as a person. It may be a judgment on a situation where I did not do what she expected me to do. Okay. So in her judgment, I'm a bad mother, which I accept. I may have done things which, were not right. I did not know any better at that time. Maybe I raised my hand. Maybe I beat her badly once. I remember once. She has a couple of counts. Okay. So,
Okay.
so yeah. For me, it is all very normal and natural, in the cycle of disciplining a child. So I'm not going to beat myself over why did I beat her at that time. So I have my thoughts pretty sorted. If I raise my hand on her and it's my child, I gave birth to that child, my a lot of emotional pegging is into that child. But my identity is not pegged into my child.
Yeah.
That's where my dissociation of who I am and who she is and where to draw the line is very, very clear. So my identity is not pegged in any of the relationships that I have.
I think that's a
So I
very
think that's
important
why I'm
statement.
not able to,
Yeah.
that's why I've never had to struggle with self-love. I am who I am.
Yeah. And that's a very strong statement. And it was coming to me also as you were talking that if, for example, my daughter also, she, kids have these notions that
Yeah,
you
they have.
didn't do
Yeah,
this and you didn't do that. And they'll sometimes come and say, you were not available, you were not there for me when I wanted you. But that doesn't mean I am a bad mom. When our vocabulary, again, coming back to the language thing, right? When I start saying I am a bad mom or I am a bad wife or I've been I am, that is reaffirming who you are. And when that reaffirmation comes from what you're hearing from the world around who are disappointed in you for whatever reasons, then I think we start despising ourselves and the self-love
yes,
slowly evaporates and dissipates.
yes,
Right?
yes.
So self-love is, can I say self-love is unconditional acceptance of who I am?
I don't like the word unconditional
Achha.
because the moment you use the word unconditional, it means there is a condition.
When we say unconditional, there is a condition. Okay.
For me, that's how I perceive it. So for me, it's just acceptance.
Hmm.
There is no conditional acceptance and there is no unconditional acceptance. If it is
Okay. That
conditional,
makes
it's anyways
sense.
not acceptance, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, there is no unconditional acceptance. Acceptance is acceptance. It's whole and complete in the infinity of life where I am.
Yeah.
All is perfect, whole and complete. So just accept is, I think, where it all boils down to. Another thing that I understand about self-love is we have we have unrealistic
Mhm.
idols and comparison scales, and we always fall short on that.
Yeah.
I want to be rich like Warren Buffett. Now you will always fall short.
Oh, yeah, and you'll always be poor. How much ever money you have, you'll always be poor,
है
right?
ना?
Yeah.
So I want to be beautiful like Aishwarya Rai. I will always fall short unless I take a photograph to a surgeon and say, okay, this is what I want to become. So that's not happening. So you'll always fall short. Uh, that comparison scale needs to be taken care of. People have to learn to. I'm not saying don't be ambitious. Please don't get me wrong. Absolutely be ambitious. You should be ambitious because that's how you explore your potential. Okay, that's how you understand what you want, what you don't want. Be random. I'm okay with people being random, because I realize that in my life I've been pretty random and I've been good.
Hmm.
So if you don't have um, a clear set of goals, another thing is a lot of this has come from outside. No, so you should have a long-term goal. You should have a short-term goal. You should have should.
Yeah.
That impacts self-love because then you're always falling
Yes.
short. You know.
Yeah.
And if you're always falling short, if within your own set of approval for yourself, you're always falling short, how will you love yourself? How can you love anybody who's always falling short of your expectation, be it your own self?
Yeah. So
So this
who you are,
comparison skill,
yeah, who you are in your own mind,
and also the comparison skills you're
the
picking up from
comparison.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
What
what
do you
I've
want to be
also, sorry.
compared with, and why?
Hmm.
What do you want to be compared with, and why? And if not that, then सो एक बड़ी अच्छी टेक्निक है जो हम लोग डाइवर्जेंट थिंकिंग के लिए करते हैं ना सो व्हाट
Yeah.
व्हाट नाउ व्हाट आई थिंक मैंने
Now,
अपने जीवन में ये बहुत किया है सो एवरी टाइम I came to a point where it was becoming about self worth. I always asked myself, so what, and now what? So you're a bad mother, okay, so what, and then now what? So just because you think that I was a bad mother and you're going to put me into guilt and then you're going to further manipulate my guilt and then get me to do things that you want your way, that's not going to happen. Okay. So I did what I think was right. Today I can accept that there were better ways of dealing with it. Today I can promise that when a situation arises, I'm going to deal better with it.
hmm,
To the degree of knowledge and wisdom and awareness and information that I have today.
now, exactly,
Huh.
exactly.
After 10 years, you might still tell me, Mom, you were a
Correct.
bad mom at that time. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So for me, it has always been, okay, this is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I would like to emphasize what you just said, that we are all operating at any point of time with the knowledge and wisdom of what we have at that moment.
Yes.
Right? That's so important because right now, if I go back and see how I lived my life or how I have been, or the yeses that I have said, or the no's that I have said, and I sometimes think, oh, how I wish I had the wisdom at that time. And then I say, oh my God, how is that possible? Because I am who I am because of the experiences that I have had.
Yes.
Right? So you can never learn more than what you know right now because the experiences that you are having are making you who you are.
Yes.
So it goes back to our conversation that we had last time also around the power of now. How can you show up your best self in the moment that you have? Because that's all you have, literally.
I think every conversation will circle back into the same point.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
whether we talk self-love, self-worth, confidence, relationships, even relationships, so whatever topic we pick up eventually will circle back into the witness and accept and, transcend sort of a format.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. So I think that was a very good conversation around self-love because that's another area that a lot of people struggle with. And from what I'm hearing from you, Daisy, you embody self-love. So it's not something foreign to you. Like you
It's
live,
not a concept for me.
it's not a concept because you are that, right?
I am
Huh.
good, bad, ugly. I accept it.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes it so easy to then take decisions, to think differently, to be okay with who you are, with people around you. There's no comparison, and there's no competition.
And there's no competition. I'm not even competing with myself. Hello, I'm 47 today. How can I compete with what I was at 20 or what I was at 30 or even at 40? Another
No.
3 years, I don't know what I'm going to be. If even if we take those complete decade markers, 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know what I'm going to be at 50. I don't know what I'm going to be at 60. I really don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So there's no competition. For me, life is just about exploring. I'm always this, little kid with a big wonderment in their eyes. अच्छा ऐसे भी होता है. Oh my God, ये तो अभी experience ही नहीं किया. Oh, अच्छा, okay, this also. So I'm still exploring life. I don't know. I think that's how I have chosen, or I have been destined, or I have been DNA'd to think about life and live life, you know.
And that's a fantastic way. And that's our urge to even the audience that keep exploring, because every exploration will tell you a little bit more about yourself. And isn't that the purpose of life? Just knowing who we are and what all we hold inside, and how can we actually leverage it to just live a better life and know a little bit about ourselves the other day. So that's what we are doing here. We are exploring topics, we are exploring life, we are exploring different philosophies, and pick what resonates with you, and feel free to not pick or just leave what doesn't resonate with you. It's just our discussion, our conversation. And we're welcome to also hear what's working for you. Any other topics that you would like us to explore, just put it in the comments and we'll be happy to talk about that as well. So thank you so much, Stacey, for another round of fantastic conversation. We enjoy talking about affirmations, visualizations, self-love, life, and the what of life. So we'll talk again next week. Until then, thank you so much and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.